Good afternoon. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Joshua. I'm going to be your presenter today. We're here to talk about membership family tabs in membership. Here we are looking at our first family record in our membership database here. So if I maximize that window here, kind of get a little better perspective on that, I hope. The family record is listed here on the left-hand side. So if we see kind of my arrow there, that blue line pops up. The family record, of course, is on the left-hand side, and we're here to talk about things that are all listed here on the left, not the individual records and tabs, but these ones here, below the family category here at the top. So to add a family in membership, we simply click the Add Family button in the top left. It opens up the window and says, what category are we going to designate for this family? Are they going to be categorized as a member in our database or a visitor family? So we would choose, the appropriate information. And then we're going to click simply OK. We can add or edit. You can, of course, have as many family categories as you wish. But typically, again, this typically identifies, well, they used to be the databases in the old version, but it identifies essentially the family's relationship with the church. So does the church consider the family a member family or a visitor family or something different? If you need to edit the categories, you can choose the Add Edit Family categories if you wish. But we're going to simply click OK. And then what it pops up is OK, here's the family number. It's a systematically assigned number to that. And then it pops up and asks us to enter the actually family mailing name. So page 15 talks about that family category. Then when we click OK through that, notice it's opened up to our new family tab, okay, and with our cursor flashing in the mailing label field. So family records, as it's talking about here now on the in the middle of page 16, there is the new family tab. So family number is a number that Church Windows assigns to the family. You have no control over this. It's not an envelope number field. Anything else, it's a kind of a behind-the-scenes number that Church Windows assigns to the family. Now again, depending on the type of category that you assign. If I had chosen a visitor, it would have assigned them a different number, typically starting with like a 90,000 number on that, okay? But because I've chosen them as, oh no, they are a visitor, sorry, that's assigning the next available number 59. So let's hear, any record entered prior to version 20 will show a 5-digit code that carries over, but new records added will start with number 1. I'm sorry, folks, this is not my typical area of expertise, so I've had to kind of scramble here to get prepared for this event today. So again, new records here, we've added 59 families since to our database here since version 20. So here we would type in whatever we're wanting the formal correspondence to the family to be added as. Once the data is entered, let's just cancel out of that. We're going to get rid of that one. We're going to go to another family here. So here we've got Nita Abendschein, okay? So right here we've got up here at the top right, notice her number's got family numbers 90,037. That is where from our old system when we've had old data in the database. To the right, we've got the Make Family Inactive, okay? So if you want to make everyone in the family inactive, you would simply click that button. And this is particularly if you've got like 3 or 4 members in a family who are inactive, or you want to make the entire family inactive, you can do that simply by clicking the Make Family Inactive. So if I have, let me scroll through here and see if I can find another family here that maybe has got a couple more people in it. There we go. So the Bells. Okay, so Bill Bell and Donna Bell, they're both current members of the church. And if I wanted to make both of them inactive in the family, I would simply click Make Family Inactive. It pops up and says, what reason code do you want to assign to them? Again, we're seeing the screenshot at the bottom of page 16. So here, left area withdrawn. These are user-defined, folks. So if you need to add more reason codes for the inactive reasons, you may certainly do that by clicking the little plus pencil arrow or minus sign below that to the right, and that allows you to edit those. But, let's say, left area, and then to the right, it will assign a date to that. You can actually ask the system to end a particular envelope number or giver number if applicable. Essentially, that would allow you to free up that number to assign to somebody else. Top of page 17 talks about the actual reason codes that we're just looking at here. If, again, I click on the little button there, that one, notice it opens up the maintain inactive reason codes. You can add to this list if you wish. Okay. Again, and typically it's going to be whatever best represents why folks are no longer or participating as active members or why they're leaving the church, as the case may be. Okay. You can edit or add codes here, and again, this is important. So notice over here on the far right, we've got you can make codes inactive if you wish. So rather than deleting them, as opposed to, which would essentially give you the option to remove them from a person's record, you can say, I don't want the reason code to show in the list. So if I don't want to have withdrawn as an option, but I don't want to remove it, I can simply check the inactive here, and then it won't show to choose from. But it won't delete folks. If I choose, say, something like, transferred to other denomination, if I click that, notice it's popping up with now the dialog box that appears at the bottom of page 17. It says, please choose what will happen when this inactive reason code is deleted. So, because again, if it's got people in our database, with this code, how do we want the software to deal with that? Do we want to delete this reason and replace with a different inactive reason? Do you want to make this inactive reason blank, but they will still be inactive? So basically clear out the inactive reason, leaving perhaps the date and the inactive status. Mark everyone with this reason as inactive and remove the reason and their inactive date. So clearly make this reason inactive, reason blank, will leave the date. Or delete this reason, cancel deleting this reason. Okay, so you can delete these reason code inactive codes, and the software does give you a fair number of options in terms of what you want to do, assuming with those blank fields or those fields where that code or reason is assigned to a particular individual. Okay, now we're not going to delete this here. Okay, so it says here in the middle of 17, if the code is not in use, then the window will confirm the deletion, yes or no. But if I recall correctly, I think it'll even tell you how many people it would affect if that reason is deleted. Okay, well, we're not going to do that. We don't want to delete our inactive reason codes. We want to keep them. They're an accurate list. Okay, but if I do want to make the entire Bell family inactive, I can choose, say, we're going to cancel out of that. We'll leave left area and click OK. And if I want to end the envelope number, I can. Okay, but notice now on the left, Bill and Donna are both now showing up in red because we've now inactivated them. We do have to click the Save button at the top right if we want to make sure that that record is saved. Okay. So page 18 kind of goes in depth there as to what the inactive does, canceling delete this reason, deleting this reason, kind of talks through in depth about exactly what options there are on deleting each one of those codes. Okay. Yeah, because maybe you don't want to leave the field blank. You can still query on it even if it's blank. Inactive reason is blank or is not blank, as the case may be. So it still can be queried on. But, typically, I would not probably want to leave the field blank. I would want to change it. But that's up to you. It's your database, folks, okay? Let me make sure if I'm seeing something here, missing something. Okay, let's go ahead and move on here. So if only one person in the family, and notice I've not clicked Save here at the top. If I want the entire Bell family to be saved as inactive, I have to check Save. And now notice it is showing both of them here listed on the left, down the left-hand side in red, okay? If I only have one person in a family that I want to inactivate, then I have to go to the family and I have to find that. So right here, let's say Eric now wants to be inactivated, or say Stuart, he's now gone off to college and he's on his own. He's no longer participating in our church activities. He's requested to be removed. I can highlight his name, and over here on the right-hand side, I can find the field called inactive right up here, and I can put it, now I'm over on his individual record. I can click on the check mark, right here, it then pops up and says, what's the inactive reason? And it gives me a whole slew of, of options that I can choose when activating a particular individual, okay? Um, so then I would just simply click, after entering him and doing whatever I'm doing, I can end giver number 206, ending it today, and click OK. And again, I have to click save, but he now shows up in red within the family. Okay, so when we've added a new family to the database, let me see here. There we go. I've added the Garcias to our household record or our record yet. So right here, now we're on page 19 talking about some various information on these tabs. So if you notice here, we've got the one, the family main record tab. So it's got the family number, the inactive, the mailing label. The mailing label represents how we want typically formal correspondence to be addressed to the family. Oftentimes that might include that would include probably both, spouses' names, primary and secondary. The address, of course, is blank. So if you want to add that, later, you can, if you come in here and add that, you can click the Add Address button, the little plus sign there, and that opens up our screenshot that we're seeing on page 19 here. Okay, so this would be notice there's two tabs, Family Main Current with the address, bulk mailing info, and then we've got family alternates. So right here, the family main is going to be the one that's going to simply show right here below the mailing label and addresses. So I've set them up with 456 Elm Street in Columbus. Okay. Is the phone number, is it considered an unlisted address? And again, you've got these little question marks that if you click on those, it brings up a help page that basically says an unlisted address will not print on the directory and will print with an asterisk on other reports. The same is true for the phone number. Any phone number can be set up as unlisted, but the only thing it will affect in terms of reporting or not show on reports is your directories. Okay. All other reports, they will appear, but with an asterisk. Okay. Family alternate address is the software simply allows us to have up to 3 family alternate addresses. So, if we've got a family where they've got, say, a winter home in Florida, and then they've got a, skiing home in, Colorado, you can set up these alternate addresses with effective start and end dates as to when they're going to be away from their family main address, okay? So you would simply, and again, you can set up to 3. We've got alternate address 1, alternate address 2, and alternate address 3. So, and again, effective dates. Notice here at the very top. So what those will do when you've got those effective dates in there, in effect, is it will make those the addresses to which things like correspondence and things are sent to or are active when we enter those, okay? Again, unlisted, so maybe we want to have their family main address appear on the directory but not, say, the alternate addresses. Also notice here we've got one that says use for statements override current, and that means their main address. So if you want the statement to be sent to one of their giving statement to be sent to an alternate address, you can absolutely set that up here. Folks, you've got enormous amounts of control in the membership module with regards to where and how these addresses can be set up. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and click OK through that. Let's move on here to page 20. So it kind of talks about on page 20 the alternate address information. And on bulk mail, sorry, I did kind of breeze through that real quick here. Sorry, bulk mail info is if you use bulk mail through either the Postal Service or elsewhere, it requires carrier, route, delivery point, or county information. And again, this might be assigned through some CAS certification or NCOA CAS certification. Okay. But if you're not using bulk mail options through the Postal Service, then you typically don't have to worry about that. And of course, you can delete any of these addresses you wish. Let's go now to our family, phone number. So right here, this would be the phone number. So if under the Garcias, I now want to enter their phone number. So here's their phone number. I can enter an extension, and I can mark it as unlisted if I don't want it to appear in the directory, but it will appear on other reports with an asterisk next to it. Bottom of page 20, family info. We're now moving away from the family tab to the family info. We're on page 21 now. 21, he said, he's got double-sided. So here we've got alternate phone number. Is there an alternate phone number that we want to have showing, printing or available on there? So it says right here, if there's an extension, you can put in an extension in there. The U checkbox is to indicate an unlisted phone number. The P is a checkbox to indicate it's the primary number to print on reports. So if this alternate number should be the primary as opposed to the one that's entered on the family tab, then you can certainly set that. Mailing code, basically what kind of mailings do we want to send to the family? Again, this is all customizable. You can customize these. Geographic area, is there some way we want to be able to indicate what the geographic area for the family is? Last update, meaning when was there a last update to the family record? Who updated it? When was the family created, and who was it created by? Okay, so again, folks, you can run queries on all of these information fields in the software, but you've got to make sure that this is systematically assigned, honestly. So right here, the last update, last updated by, date created, and date created by. But ours says universal login. This is important. This is what necessitates, or why we strongly recommend setting up different usernames and passwords for everyone who uses the software, is because if not, then we don't know who did what, who either updated or created a particular record on this, okay? Again, just helpful information about the family. Comments, general comments that we can print about the family that we can enter, and again, these can be reported on if you wish, okay? If you wish to assign a family photograph to the record, sorry, we're going to go a couple minutes long here, folks. So right here, a photo. So if you want to assign, you've got the ability for individual pictures on each person, but if you want to upload or assign a particular family photograph, you can click Add Picture, Clear Picture, or Rotate. So Add Picture simply opens up a Browse button and allows you to browse to the location of the photograph if you wish. Other is basically where we can now link multiple people to different people in the same household, okay? So what this means is, what you have the ability to do now is to assign or link somebody in one family, like this occurs in split households where mom and dad are maybe divorced and there are children that you want to list in both families. This other allows you to, it says link or unlink a child to this family, okay? So if we do child here, let me bring that over. It's on my other screen. There it is. So basically we want to do people, and then we're going to go down here and choose Cody Ellison. So right here we can do link child to family, and now Cody shows up here in the family, okay, with the Garcias, okay? So then now that child will appear here on the family tab down here, but notice with an A. This is their alternate family, not their primary, okay? So again, a really, really handy feature here when we can link multiple people in different families, particularly children from one family to another, okay? Let's see here, one more thing, and files and documents. So for the very first time in version 23, we now have the ability to be able to upload and save documents in association with either individuals or with families. So right here, if you click add, whatever it may be, okay, marriage certificates or birth certificates or health records or, you name it, right here you click add file and it allows you to browse to the location of your file for that family and just save it here. They can be accessed and printed at any point there. But in version 23, we have added this everywhere in the software. You've got the ability in accounting and donations and in membership to link files and documents with specific records, and that's absolutely true in membership as well. Again, when these types of changes are made, you've got to click save in order to save your desired change or your requested changes, okay? All right, so I apologize, folks. I've gone a little long here, but it is a very, very detailed topic, but we're going to leave that there where it is today.